Hey guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guy. Thanks very much for joining me today. As you can see, I've got a review here of the Caran Swisscolor. Now, I've been doing a little bit of research about these pencils, and I've been having a look through the Caran catalogue and the back catalogue. And in the Caran workbook that I'd done a review of quite a while ago, they have like a timeline of all the different pencils and products and what have you that they have made from the beginning of Caran starting to the present day. Now, the Swisscolor are not on that timeline anywhere up until even like the present day. Now, the workbook was published in 2018, I think 2019. So I know that there's a little bit of a gap there, but from what I can gather, now I have asked Caran this question, and I will be able to answer some of it, but they didn't answer some parts of it. Caran used to do a pencil called the Classic color. They would come in a blue tin, and they had a similar style. I believe they were like a watercolor pencil as well. And I think that the Swisscolor has superseded the Classic color. Now, whether they have changed the pencils or whether it's just a rebranding of the name, I'm not 100% sure. And I have asked that question. Caran haven't answered it just yet. Now, a lot of people have asked me, with regards to the Caran watercolor pencils, their watercolor line in general, where does the likes of the Swisscolor, the Fancolor, the Supercolor Soft, the Prismola, and pencils like that all lie? And when I ask Caran that question, they're very reluctant to pigeonhole their products as like top end, bottom end, middle end, that type of thing. On their website, they do have a categorization. The Museum Aquarelle is obviously the top watercolor pencil, and then the Supercolor Soft are also classed as, I suppose, professional artist grade. Then you would come down into like their hobby range, and their hobby range has Prismola, the Swisscolor, and the Fancolor as well. Now, they say that the Prismola and the Swisscolor and the Fancolor, they're not necessarily all better pencils or anything like that. They're just different types of pencils, whether it's to do with the size or the size of the core, how thin it is or how hard it is. Because believe it or not, I got a little bit of a lesson in terms of the hardness and softness of watercolor pencil cores, and believe it or not, there are different hardnesses and softnesses of watercolor pencil cores. It's not just a case of like the so-called wax or oil-based pencils having hard or soft cores. Watercolor pencils have the same. So from my understanding, if anybody's interested, if you wanna categorize it, although this is not coming directly from Caran the Museum Aquarelle are the top. Then after that, you've got the Supercolor Soft. Those two pencils would be really aimed towards artists. After that, you've got the Prismola. Now, the Prismola would be around about student grade, that type of thing. And then after that, you would have the Swisscolor and then the Fancolor. Now, the Fancolor, I will be doing a review of. I've got a set of those as well. I'll be doing a review of those later on in a couple of weeks. But the Swisscolor would be in between student and kids, so it kind of like hovers around the middle there. And then Fancolor would be more aimed towards kids, from the understanding that I have. Now, I have yet to test the Fancolor, so I can't say one way or the other whether that would be right or whether they are maybe a little bit higher grade. But for now, let's take a little look at the Swisscolor, and we'll just take a look at these. So basically, first of all, the sets that this brand of pencil comes in is 12, 18, 30 and 40. They don't do open stock. I couldn't find anywhere that does open stock. If you know of a place that does open stock Swisscolor, then let me know. But as of yet, there's no open stock. And again, I think that comes down to the fact that they're more aimed towards student/kids type thing. You're only really looking at artist and student, like high-end student grade, that's going to be really needing pencils that are going to be open stock so that they can pick and choose which colours they want or which colours they're using the most of. But for now, there is none. So the range is okay. So 40 is the top line range. Let's take a look at the actual pencil themselves. That's Coda just telling you he's having a look at his as well. Okay, so if you take a look here at the core is a 2.8mm core, and the barrel is a 6.8mm barrel, so it's quite a slim pencil. Not quite as slim as the Prismola. It's quite a lightweight pencil. The barrel of the pencil indicates the pigment color as well, so it's the same. The barrel is lacquered the same color as the actual pigment. Along the barrel, you have the name of the pencil, which is Swisscolor. Then you also have here like a little paintbrush icon, which indicates that it is a water soluble pencil. Then we've got the Caran logo and Swiss made. That is it. There's no pigment name, there's no light fast information or anything like that, because these pencils do not hold any light fast ratings. On the very end here as well, you can see that the pencil is not capped, which again, for me personally, it's just another way that you could damage your pencil. But because it's not aimed at artists, it's not really a big deal. But having the pencil capped at the end there just exposes the core and can cause problems if the pencil drops, that type of thing. But so all in all, it's quite a basic barrel in terms of like information. We know if we look at a lot of Caran pencils like the Museum Aquarelle or the Luminance, there's a lot of information on the barrel there, but with the Swisscolor there's not, and that's to be expected in all honesty if we're looking at these to be in and around mid-grade student and kids. I'm in the process of doing like a video of kids art supplies, and one of the things that I found with these really cheap sets that you can go in and buy from certain stores and what have you, this like set of 120 art supplies for £5. When you get them home, the kids that you are giving them to will play with them or play about with them for about 5 or 10 minutes, and once they realise that there's no pigment, there's no end result because these products are so useless, you're potentially shying a kid away from art, because a kid's brain needs to see results immediately. They don't have the attention, the span to be able to go, all right, okay, well, I need to layer these up in order to get colour. Sorry, that's Coda biting on his bone. Kids don't know that. All they know is they have an orange pencil or a red or a yellow, whatever, and they want to see that colour on the paper. Now, with these pencils, bearing in mind that they could be aimed at that, these pencils are great for the pigment strength that's in these. I was absolutely really shocked, because when I was testing these Swisscolor, I had to get out the Supercolor Soft and I had to get out the Prismola and test them side by side, because I couldn't really see a really seriously significant difference. I got my wife to lay down some colours and then just activate them with water. I walked out of the room, came back in, and tried to identify which one was which without her telling me until I asked. And I did get it, but I had to really study it really quite hard. So as you can see here by the swatches coming up on your screen, you can see like a dry version that I've done. And I've done it, it's kind of like a heavy application. So the pigment strength on the dry version of these pencils is really, really nice. And then once they're activated, you can see here yourself again the pigment remains, and it's really, really strong. So Caran, regardless whether it's student or kids grades, Caran are not messing about with the pigment levels that they're putting in their products. Still very strong. You give a set of these to a kid or a student artist, and they're going to be well impressed. I'm just going to do I'll just do some sort of like live testing here for you. So if we open the set, I'll just get a few colours out. I also have done some artwork with these as well, so you can take a look at that artwork if you would like to. I've done a speed drawing of it as well, and you can just go across or click on the link down below and you'll be able to see what artwork I've been able to produce with these. So I've just got my little trusty travel watercolor brushes here, and I'm just going to lay down some. Let me just zoom in here for you. Okay, so I've just picked out a few colors here. Again, I'm just going to put like a relatively heavy application down. You can see there's a little bit of crumbling there, but crumbling, when it comes down to watercolor pencils, isn't really a big deal. Now, I know there's no pigment names on these pencils, and for a lot of people that's a problem. It's definitely a problem for Coda. But if you do your swatch, if you do a swatch of these whenever you get them, you can do like keep a dry swatch and a wet swatch if you wanted to. You're going to be able to eyeball the color that you're going to need or want or anything like that, and the name is irrelevant at that point. I know it's handy having the pigment names on the pencils, but I think we get too carried away with having the pigment names, because one set of pencils, you know, different brands have got different names for the same color pigments, or similar color pigments, sorry, should I say. So this is the black Swisscolor here. And you can see here, hopefully, that it's actually quite, it's more like a dark grey, this black. It's not very, very strong at all, which for colour pencil artists is a good thing. So I'm just going to activate them here. But you can see there that, bearing in mind, you know, if you've used the likes of the Supercolor Soft or the Museum Acro Well pencils, it's hard not to kind of like subconsciously or consciously compare other Caran d'Ache. I had that problem with the Prismola. When I used the Prismola, I was kind of like constantly thinking, oh wow, you know, these are really bad in comparison to the Museum Acro Well, but the Museum Acro Well are really, really unique watercolor pencils. I don't think I've ever used a set of watercolor pencils quite like those in terms of pigment strength and the palette that's in that set. So it's something that you need to be cautious of whenever you're testing or using a set of pencils like this. They're not going to be like the Museum Acro Well or even the Supercolor Soft, but they're not too far off the Supercolor Soft. So there we've got these colors. We've got these colors activated, and so you can see there that they have still maintained a really, really good strength of pigment once they've been activated. Cheaper branded watercolor pencils aimed to, especially those aimed towards kids, will, as soon as they're activated, they will lose a lot of their pigment. Coda, come here, son. They will lose a lot of their pigment strength, and therefore, will, you know, you will be able to see whether they're cheap or what through that type of testing. But as you can see there, that's not the case with the Caran d'Ache Swisscolor. I would say if you are just starting out in art, or maybe you're a colour pencil artist but you want to dip your feet into watercolour pencils, I would say that the Swisscolor is a great place to start, because you're going to get good strength pigments, a decent palette in the 30 set and the 40 set. You can see here the palette of the 30 set that I have. I am a little bit greedy when it comes to colours. I like to have a really good selection. I'm not as good as certain artists are when it comes to mixing colour and what have you. But with the with the 40 set or the 30 set, you really can't go far wrong. And even the 18 set, if you're just starting out, the 18 set would be a really good place to start. And the good thing about this is they're not super expensive. Now, the prices will be over on the Art Gear Guide, the written review. So go across, take a little look at the prices. And the links for these sets are also down below. But for people that are just wanting to start out, dip their feet into watercolor pencils or anything like that, this is a great place to start. So that's my review of the Caran Swisscolor. Like I say, a really great set for the kind of like the area of people that Caran are aiming this at. This is not their top line pencils, so don't be expecting highly light fast pencils and super strong pigments as what you would get with the Museum Acro Whale. If you want that, then you're going to have to pay for that and get the Museum Acro Whale. But like I say, for people that are either just starting out in watercolor pencils, or for those of you that have tried other watercolor pencil brands and what have you, and you maybe want to up it a little bit, the Swisscolor is a great set. So the Swisscolor, I think the Swisscolor and the Prismola are really quite close to get, very, very close together in terms of their their pigment strength and everything else. I think the Prismola is maybe perhaps a slightly thinner pencil. And another thing as well, the Swisscolor are hexagonal barrels also, as you could see in the images, which I know a lot of artists really do like. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget, if you want, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I'm always putting up, work in progress artworks that I'm doing or anything like that. Also, if you like the video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel as well, only if you want to. I just want to say thank you so much for everybody. I just recently hit 13,000 subscribers and I just couldn't believe it. It's absolutely amazing to have 13,000 subscribers. I was completely blown away. I can't thank you guys enough. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll have another giveaway, so just keep watching the videos and stuff like that, and I will announce what I'm giving away. I'm not 100% sure just yet, but I will be giving another set of pencils away, whether they're watercolor or traditional wax or oil-based so-called pencils. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for all your wonderful comments and messages and everything that I get. I just can't thank you guys enough. Thanks. Bye.